This particular part of the course, I want to show you the interior for a cookbook, the layout of the interiors for cook. Normally, what I've been showing you guys is that there are different types of layouts you can use to design the inside of your cookbook. Yes, so in this particular video, I'm going to show you the exact layouts which you can use for designing the inside of your cookbooks, and some of them are here on the screen, as you can see, and these are all different types of layouts which will make your design look good. Now these are just ways you can arrange text and images to make the interior of your book look good. What I've done here is pretty basic because I did it so fast, but you can make it better if you spend more time on it. You can make it better. What you can do is that you can create this as a template for all your books. You just get maybe 2 to 3 layouts and use it throughout your book, and you'll have your own layout of the book. Like, it will be special. For example, if you pick this one, this first layout, and this second layout, then you pick this third layout, and you pick this layout and this layout. So these are 4 layouts. Now you can use these layouts, these 4 layouts in your entire book, because you're going to use this first layout. You use the first layout in the first page, then you go ahead and use the second layout, then you go ahead and use the third layout, then use the fourth layout, then you come back to the first layout, second layout, third layout, fourth layout. So you keep on balancing like that until the whole book is complete, and then the whole layout of your book will be looking okay. Now there are special ways to insert images inside to make the image precise and to make it look like this, and that is what I want to show you in this video. Even those who are not doing cookbooks can learn from this. As long as you watch this, you're going to learn how to design the interior of your book, because this can work for both cookbooks and any other type of book you want to write. So without wasting time, let's begin. So first things first, to design this kind of layout, as I've said before, you can use any paper size as long as it is allowed by Amazon. Yes, but then allow me to first show you the tools that we're going to use in designing this kind of layout. Now there are majorly two major tools we are going to use in designing this layout, and there are 2 here. The first one is this small box. You can see this is called borders. These borders. So if I click on this drop down arrow here, you can see that there are very many types of borders here. Yes, so there are very many types of borders here, and it is the major thing we are going to use in the designing of this interior layout. Then the other thing we are going to use are tables. These tables. So if I click here, you can see that there are tables here, and these are the things we're going to use. These are 2 major tools we are going to use in the designing of these interiors. Now the paper size we are going to use is 5.5 by 8.5, because I'm going to show you all examples on 5.5 by 8.5. Then later you can pick those and go ahead and use it. Even if you increase the paper size, it will just be the same thing, because you'll be doing literally the same thing. So it will just be, the difference will be that you have just increased the paper size. So yeah, I'll show you on 8.5 by 5.5 by 8.5, then you can go ahead and do it for other paper sizes as you like. Now to begin, we have to change the paper size. From here, you go ahead and go to layout, and then you go to paper size, you go to size here, click on size. After that, you click on statement, which is 5.5 by 8.5. So I click on statement, you can see that it has been reduced. Now the other thing we have to consider is the margin. Yes, so you have to come here and click on margins, and then this time you're going to be using narrow. We want these narrow margins. We want to have as much space as possible to deal with. So I'll click on narrow, and you can see that the cursor has moved up to here. So since we have this narrow type of margin, then you can go ahead and click on view to see how big this is. If you click on view and then you go ahead and click on grid lines here, click on grid lines, you're going to see that this is the size, this is the amount of space we are going to be working in. Yes, so you can even decide to leave this grid line like this, or you remove it whenever you see it's distracting your work, but for now I'm going to leave it here. Now to begin, I want you to see that this is the type of book we are going to be working in. This is what we are going to be working on. So if I click on view here and remove these grid lines, you can see that this is the book, the interior we are going to start with, the type of interior we're going to start with. Now to design this kind of interior, you need to know that this was designed using tables, but I just made the tables disappear so that it can look like this. Yes, so I'm going to show you that in a moment. But before that, let me reveal for you the tables. So if I come here and I click on this, yes, you can see that it has highlighted things inside. So I go to home, and then I come to this. As I told you, we're going to be working with these borders. So if I click on this and I say all borders, if I say all borders, all of them will appear. So if I click on this, you can see that all the borders have appeared. Yes, so all the tables have reappeared. So what I initially did was that when the borders appear, I made them disappear. How did I make them disappear? I came to borders here, I click on this, I made sure I highlighted. So you make sure you highlight first. You click on this, it will highlight everything. After that, you go ahead and click on this, and then you can see that all the borders have appeared. And then you can click on no border. If you click on no border, you see that all the borders will disappear. Actually, this works for anything as long as it has a border inside Microsoft Word document. So if you click no border, the borders will disappear. All borders will disappear, and then your things will be well organized, and they'll look like you use some ruler to place them. So they'll all be in a straight line. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's how you use borders to deal with these things in Microsoft Word document. Now, the other thing I want you to know is that when you come to borders here, there's something we call, when you come to borders here, if I click on borders and you come down to view grid lines, yes? So what I want you to know is that all tables are grid lines, yes? All tables are grid lines, and they can guide you when you're working in Microsoft Word document. So if I come to view grid lines, yes, and I click on it, you're going to see that all grid lines are going to appear inside the book, yes? So these grid lines are here to guide you so that you can put your things, align them very well. They guide you to align everything in line. So these grid lines appear wherever you put a table. So it will turn all your tables into grid lines to guide you on this work, on how to work with Microsoft Word document. So if I scroll through down, you're going to see that grid lines have appeared everywhere inside the whole document, and these are just grid lines. You can also make them disappear. So you can first work with these grid lines to guide you, and then later you can make them disappear if you want. And then when they disappear, then you'll have a clean layout which are being guided by grid lines. These things be looking like they're magic, but no, they were all done with these grid lines. Yes. So I saw someone trying to telling someone to use columns to do this kind of thing. You can do this kind of thing using columns, but it will not be as good as this, because some of your images are going to scatter, things are going to scatter everywhere. But if you use a table and then you turn the tables into grid lines and they look like this, and use them to measure the exact place where you want to place the image or the words, then you're going to end up with something like this. So now, in order for us to do this, now let's begin this. That's enough for the introduction. I think you've understood some of these things. Now let me show you step by step how this document was created. Now you can pick any of this layout and use for any of your books. After this, you can use these kinds of layout for any of your books, and you have to practice how to do the layout. Now the first thing we are going to start with is this kind of layout, yes? So if you look closely, let me first bring back the borders. If I click on all borders, actually I'll have to first highlight, then I bring all borders. You can see that all the borders have reappeared. Now what you can see is that I used tables to do this. So I have one table here, one row. I have 1, 2 and 3 columns. So there's 1 row and 3 columns. So let's do that. 1 row and 3 columns. So row by column, 1 row, 3 columns. Let me do it there. So as you can see, this is our document. So there's 1 row and 3 columns. So 1 row, you come here, you click on insert, then you make sure your cursor is here. You click on insert and then you click on tables. Then we have 1 row and 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. So you can see that we have 1 row and 3 columns. Actually, there are 2 rows. Let me make them 2 rows. So as I said before, actually let me make it 1 row. There's something new I want to show you. So 1 row and 2 columns. So if I click on this, you can see that I have now 1 row and this column. So all I have to do is just reduce these columns. Actually, first of all, before I even reduce the column, I want to click inside here. And when I come at the bottom, when you hover at the bottom here, you'll see this thing which says plus. You can see it. Yes, there's this icon which says plus. If I click on this icon, it can add for me another table. In one of the videos on this channel, I said, on this group, I said it is harder to add tables than to remove tables. Now, as I keep on working, I keep on discovering new things. So I've discovered this new part of the table where you can easily add a new table which resembles the upper one. So if you come here to this plus and click on this plus, you're going to see that a new table, a new row and column will appear. So if I click on it, you can see that new rows and new columns have appeared. So every time you end a table, you're going to be seeing this plus. This plus means you can add tables. If I continue clicking, you see that more tables will appear. So if I keep on clicking on it, new tables will appear. Yes. So keep on clicking and new tables will appear. So that's how this one works. So let me undo that, but I leave it here. Now, as I said, we are going to be having 1 row, actually 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows, these are rows, and then these are columns. Yes, these are columns. Now all I have to do is come here in the middle here, you put until you see this cursor which shows 2 arrows pointing on opposite sides. So this you after seeing this cursor, you hold and drag. Yes, you're going to see that line appear, and you drag it until it reaches somewhere in the middle here, around here, and then you come to this one also until you see that arrow which which is, you see that cursor which is pointing sideways, you hold and drag until it reaches the middle here, and then you leave it there. Now from here, all you have to do is put the cursor inside the box and then click on enter until it reaches down. So I'll keep on clicking enter, until it reaches the part I want it to reach. So you can see that. So I've clicked enter until it reaches down here. That means now I have space to do what I want to do. Now all I have to do is come here inside here and remove this column. So I highlight this and then I click on merge cells, which will appear here. So click on merge cells. So you can see that the cells have been merged up here, and now I have space where I can put my text. Now let me get my text and put. So if you'll be copying yours maybe from ChatGPT or somewhere, I'm going to get mine from the other document. So if I come here inside this document, I see the way my text are arranged, and I can bring them inside this document. So as you can see, these are the text. So I'll just copy from here, highlight and copy, and then go back to the other page and paste them there in this empty space. So I'll move the cursor up to here, click here and paste. So I'll paste it in this format or even this format, but let me choose this format or this format. So if I choose this format, let me see, you'll see that the formatting has disappeared. So if I double click and remove, I come back up here and then I click and I paste with this middle format, and that is the one I want. So as you can see, and then all I have to just move it down a little. That's what I have as of now. And go ahead and get the other content, get the next content. I'll get this other content, all of it, get all of this. Actually, start from here, get up to here, then copy and bring it inside here and bring it here. Yes. After pasting it, then I can move the thing down a little bit. So as you can see, now I have my content inside here. Yes. So if I have my content, the next thing to do is to have what we are calling the header. Yes. So as you can see, I've moved it, and then there's a heading. If you can look at the original document, you're going to see that there's a heading in the original document. Let me see. You can see that there's a heading inside this original document. And now how I made this heading is that I used a text box. Yes, I used a text box for this heading. If I click here, you can see that there's a text box around here. So to use a text box, all I have to do is come back inside here. From here, all I have to do is make sure I go to insert. Yes, and from insert I go to text box, which is here. Click on it and then go ahead and click on draw text box. So I click on draw text box and come here and I draw a text box the way I want it to be. So I draw a text box from this side to this side. Yes, so I've drawn a text box. Now I can go ahead and copy what I had the other side, come here and copy this heading. So copy it, highlight it, then copy, then come back this side and then paste it inside here. So I paste it inside here. As you can see, now I have it here, and then I can highlight it, put it in the middle, and then increase the size, make it bold first, underline it, and then increase the size. Yes, so increase the size, then give it color, change the color to orange, which is there. So as you can see, now I have the heading and I also have the body. Now if I have the heading and the body, all I have to do is come here and tap on this box, text box. I don't want this text box to appear. As you can see, if I leave it like this, you're going to see that the text box has a line. Yes, it has a line all over it. So I don't want the line to appear. All I have to do is come here and tap on the text box. Know that these text box are shapes. So if I double tap on it, it will open for me this window, this tab. Now from these tabs, I go to shape outline. So I click on this shape outline and make it either white or do no outline. So I'll do no outline or white. So I'll do no outline at this moment. So I click here because that the text box has disappeared. Yes. So since the text box has disappeared, now you can still see that I still have this line. These lines are grid lines. So if I want it to disappear, I want these lines to disappear. So if I want these lines to disappear, all I have to do is come here and tap on this, and then I click on this. After that, I click on no border. So I click on no border. You can see that all the lines have disappeared, and now I have text only, which are just dancing within the page. Yes, so since I have only text, now I can it will be the end of it. Now to make it look better, if you, in most cases, if you leave this lower part plain like this, it does not look that good. So we have to make sure that this lower part is also designed. So to design the lower part, all you have to do is make sure that you bring back the grid lines. So click here and click on this view grid lines. So click on view grid lines. You can see that the grid lines have appeared again. Then I have to click here and I move this up and click this side and also move this up. So now I have them up here. Then from down here, I can create another box. Yes, so first move this a bit up, have this cursor which is pointing up and down, move this backwards until it reaches a certain point. Yes, so like that. After that, click on this and try to create this part of the box, and then from here we can now design this. In order to design this, all you have to do is highlight this. After highlighting it, go ahead and click on this color, this paint, bucket paint, shading. It's called shading. So click on it and then you give it a color which you want. So I'll go and give it orange. So if I click on this orange, now you can see if I click on this orange, it will paint all this downer part orange. And if I highlight it and I click on this and then I click on no border, then you'll see what will happen. So if I click on no border, you can see that we have no border. And then if I click on this and I click on this view grid lines, and this one is to switch off the grid lines. As you can see, the grid lines are still appearing here. So if I click on view grid lines, they will disappear. If I want the grid lines, I click on view grid lines. If I don't want them, I also click on view grid lines and they disappear. So if I click on this, they have disappeared. Now look at the way we have what we have here. So this is what we have now. What we have now is this. So this is how you design. You can create columns using tables and borders So columns and borders plus text box, you can use them to create this kind of now the other thing I want you to know is that the reason why these words are looking like this is because they have a justified border. Let me highlight all of it and you can see that they are on justified. Justified is highlighted on paragraph. Under paragraph, you're going to see that all of them are justified. Now what if you are not satisfied with justified and you want to use another alignment? So you can also go ahead and you can just highlight all of it here like this, and then you click on this left alignment. So if I click on left alignment, wait and see what will happen. So left alignment, you can see what has happened. Everything has moved. Yes, has moved on this side. So if I click on left alignment, you're going to see that this thing has been displaced. So if I click inside it, if I want to remove it, I can also remove it if I want to remove it. So you can change the alignment of anything the way you want it. Yes, so if I see that I've changed the alignment and this is not moving back here, in fact, even me moving here, it has already created another design. So every mistake can be a design. So this was initially a mistake, but if you can see, since it has moved to the next page, it's actually making the next page look good. So I can still continue with, I leave it there and I continue. So whenever you're doing art or design, you just know that even a mistake can turn into a design. Now, most people who do this, who left align, are people who, you see, let me first show you what I'm trying to talk about. So if I do this and I come back to this justify, you can see that some things here are scattered. So for example, here things are scattered, here things are scattered in the middle here. I've looked for ways of putting this together and I've failed to find the way. The methods are found that can help and end up destroying the design you're doing. So the best method to handle this kind of spaces is to either leave them alone, leave them because they will not affect your book, and then the other thing is to change the alignment. And what most people do is make the alignment left aligned. For example, the way we just did, if I highlight here and I left align, you're going to see that the spaces have disappeared complete, but the book still looks good. So this is how to do it. This is how you can do it, and this is how you can arrange your items. Now normally if I highlight this, if I copy this and I copy this and I paste it here, let me say I come here and I paste all of this here, you can see how it has appeared. Yes, so this is how ChatGPT actually gives you the content. So this is how we used to do it. Most of us usually do it. So if I highlight this, if I move this backwards and I move it, actually most of you actually do this. You do it like this, then you highlight this, make it bold, highlight this also and make it bold. Actually highlight everything and make everything bold. Yes, I just want to show you a thing and you see between the two types of arrangement which one is more appealing. Yes, so normally when ChatGPT gives you this kind of content, you're going to do it like this. You say maybe the heading will be how to shop smarter, then you'll align it like this, and then after that you just leave it like that. So there's this arrangement and this arrangement. You can see that from here you can see that this kind of arrangement is more appealing compared to this kind of arrangement, although this arrangement is also good. So you can mix. If you have done this, you can go ahead and also do this. Yes, you can go ahead and do this in another part of the document. So you keep on mixing so that the customer can know that you've spent time designing, you took your time designing this book, and they even think twice for giving you a fake review, a useless review. I don't want this video to be too long. Then I'm going to stop here and I'm going to make part 2 of the video to show you the other parts of the interior design. So let me stop this one here, then I'll make another one to show you the other part.